Christmas Eve had arrived. As last-minute shoppers were going home, a thick, white sheet of snow lay over Salt Lake City, USA, yet the lights were still burning in the old clock shop as Ray, its old deaf owner, walked on the clock he had sold that day. Christmas urlok zania, tai taka mamo leya Salt Lake City, USA a bazar te chu an ho sapa. Ray dor chu ala eng ringa achan chu minia asana shal to chu chiang vak lo nge ni ala siama ama hi putar ni in abing angong bokani. Having finished his work, Ray stood up and was on his way to the back room when a cold rush of air from the front door hit the back of his neck. He turned to meet the last-minute shoppers, but his old, wise eyes told him that this was not a shopper. He saw two men, one in his 20s, the other closer to 50. The younger man remained at the door. The older man approached the counter with no signs of friendliness in his eyes. Ray was able to hide his growing fear as he slowly pushed a notepad and a pencil across the counter. Ati tur ti zon hu chuan anung lam room hoi zong chuan ein hera chuti lai chuan a ho a hen thivati na ron chema kong ka pui chu ein hong ani ti a she theya a chan chu ari tang ha chuan a she thei lo a hong a thlivatin a ron chema wang khan kong ka kha atang khan min ron lu ta ni ti a she theya ama ron dor tu tur nunung berte an ron kal tura angaya ein hera mi pahnih lo kala hmuwa pakhat chu kumsom ni bor vel ani a tu zok chu kongka bula dinga pakhat zok chu kumsom nga bor vel ani a aron kaluta counter lama chuan a experience lo nei to atangin he mi te hi thil lo lei tura local ani lo ti a hria a pakhat zok mi da chuan in thian thana lampang engma amlowa a hlawa thil thalawa chunga a thleng thei ti a hria ta wangin ma se a hlona da tha in notebook le pencil chu counter lama chuan a ron la chuak ta zoka. He smiled at the unfriendly face, then pointed to his ears and shook his head from side to side. A quick look of surprise changed the man's face as he studied the notepad, then turned and said something to his friend. Ray used the chance to look closely at the man, paying attention to the shape of a gun and restless hand in the man's right coat pocket. Anger boiled within him, but it was kept down by an inner voice that said, "Be still." He wrote on the notepad, "May I help you?" For the first time, the older man looked directly at Ray and smiled, a cruel, mocking smile. They both understood why he was there, why his friend remained at the door. They looked like men who were down on their luck and were now ready to try something they would later be sorry about. Melim puin alo loma bingong ani ti chu alu mangina shila alu athinga chu paina notepad en chuan amaktina are thuaya achan chu bingong ani ti she thiama inherin anau pangjok nena chuan chu pa chu bingong mere chu bingong ani ti ashila a chu te a hoi chung chuan rei chuan chu pa chu chiang dewa en huna na ya ipte ding lama chuan silai thla a huwa akut po chu ta chuan athuna a thinrim hle a rei chu ma se amali ama chu in beng dai turin a intia notebook chuan pui theina cheka nem ti na zek ta zoka chu ama saber dan rei a chu pa chuan aron enna ania ron nui song in a ron ena chu I rei le chu mi de chuan an she ve chu lai hmuna chu mi te ron kal na chan chu nakina anin thir le po pe salawa thil swal ron ti tuma ron kal an nia. The clock ticked on. Ray calmly wrote another message. "Have you come to pick up a clock or watch?" Then he pointed to the longboard field, the hanging clocks and pocket watch. He was not a pawnbroker, but at the same time could not say no to the needy people who placed their old watch or clocks before him for anything they could get. He loaned more than he should. They would be there when the owners wanted them back at the same price he had paid, with no interest. Then the older man seemed to feel a little easier. took out his hand from his pocket and quickly looked at the watch of his wrist. How much will you give me for this? The man wrote. Anua chuan rei chuan sana tar chi nge abun chin le tura local an ni ti a zo chuan rei chuan loan ang zongin sana chu ati thei ti a hrila pawn broker ani lawa ama hi pawn broker chu hei thil I an bada kham ta a kha paisa an da kham na te ne na han paisa an la a chuan an va khul le do ni chuan ai man tau de ti han an khul thin ni tumo ma se re hi pawn broker ani lo ma se ke tianga sana ronda kham dun om ni chuan paisa mamo na wanga sana ronda kham dun om chin chuan ai ti in I re hi chuan ron alo cha ngai lo ni a chan chu ama hi mi tha tak ani a aron khul le du pon an paisa an lak zat ang che che khan apung om loin alo ti sak thin ani mi pa upa zok chuan chu re an tu tia shi chuan ama chu a nem sota ai te a aban zen chu aron la chuaka hemi hi engzat nge hemi a hian engzat nge min pe kang ati ta zoka. Ray noticed a little shame in the grey eyes looking at him. The watch was nothing special and it had great powers. It was something to exchange a way out of a bad situation, knowing that great need had brought the man to his shop in the first place. Ray asked, "How much do you need for it?" The reply came back on the notepad, "Whatever it's worth." Ray reached into his cash box, pulled out a $50 note and passed it into the man's hand. As they shook hands, Ray looked into the man's eyes. They seemed to say thank you. They both know the watch wasn't worth that much. Before turning to leave, the man wrote, "I will be back to pick it up as soon as I can. Merry Christmas." Ray chuan an ena sana chu special tak ni lo. Ma se chu chuan boruak thalo aton tur atang a din hun tha a din tir tu ania. Ray chuan chu a hria a momo na sang taka wanga chu mi te chu dora chuan an lo lut ti chu. Engzat nge hemi mana hian ka pe kang che ti in azota chu pa chuan engzat po aman hu zat ani mei ti in notebook chuan a ziaka. Ray chuan a paisa da na bo matang chuan dollar songa chu porin chu pa chu pe a kut anin chibeya chu pa Ray chuan chu pa chu amita chuan ena alom hle ti amu thei ani an pani chuan chu sana chu man to takani lo ti an chia a an kalma chuan chu pa chuan notebook chuan ke thei anga rangin ronda le turin kalokal le ang Merry Christmas ti in aziaka. The little story ended on the half hour with the clock striking all together. The timepieces, which had been looking on silently all the while, rang out the time with such feeling that even Ray thought he could hear them. Their sweet musical message was filled with hope, the timeless message of peace on earth, good towards all, was felt by the three men who stood in the old clock shop. Chu sanawang chuan mak main chu thon thu chu darkar chan ve chungin a fel veka alanda chuan Ray po chuan bengong chungi music a hria ani chu music mak takri chu beisaina le khamwan na ina aron thlen chu ani mi zong bula thati chwa chuan chu chuan khovela ralmon na lo thlen ani ti chu chulai muna sanadora a ommi pathum te chuan a chiang hle ani